it's like, bro, like I got humbled in the sense of like understanding like where I'm at, you know, like because I was in the trenches. I was like, you know, not necessarily talking to the void, but I was just like in it, you know, and then my nose hit me with a couple haymakers and a 3-piece, and had me sit down and really realize like, okay, like where, like look at the overall landscape of where you at, you know what I'm saying? Got some new perspective, got some new learning, and now it's like, okay, now like, yeah, I got humbled, but now I'm hungry to get back at it, you know what I'm saying? So like that's pretty much where I'm at with it. But yeah, bro, like I really been like fighting my allergies like the last, like, cause it's changed in season time, and like these last 2 weeks been rough, bro. It's probably like been like my least productive last 2 weeks, like from a content standpoint. Especially like streaming, bro. Like I think I've only really streamed to do the podcast, just because like that's something that I do, you know, regularly. Like I just gotta do it. I gotta do it every week, you know what I'm saying? And not only that, like my sleep schedule has gotten a lot better. Like I'm waking up in the mornings now, you know. What's good, Chris? I'm waking up in the mornings now, you know, early. I mean, it's early for me, you know what I'm saying? Usually I'm going to sleep in the morning, but I've been fighting it, bro. I've been fighting it, and now I finally feel like we're over that hump, bro, of like changing season. And now we officially in fall. Regardless of what, you know, the calendars say, my nose tells me the truth, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I can finally like breathe again. You know what I'm saying? I can finally breathe again. But without further ado, man, let's get into this episode. Welcome back to the Why I'm Geeked show, man. This is episode 38. Episode 38, man. And this episode is going to be titled Humble But Hungry, bruh. And I'll get into more on why a little bit like during the episode, and then a little bit towards the end, bro. But first things first, man, let's get into the news. Alright, y'all, so this weekend, last weekend, whatever you want to call it, DC Fandom happened, right? I didn't watch none of this stuff live because I just, you know, just sitting around waiting for like I'm not the one to sit in the stream and watch a whole stream of just like constant updates. I'd rather just get it all on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, like whenever they finally come out, and like through Twitter and stuff. So that happened over the weekend, which I think is cool because like they made their own like platform in the sense of like just, you know, they brought everybody over to this one space. If you wanted to see anything DC EU related or DC Comics related, like this is where you wanted to be at over the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, like, you know, the thought of like, you know, them really stepping out there to do something like this, because it's not like, you know, normal things like just, you know, have your little event on Twitch and then you be Gucci. But the DC Fandom joint happened over the weekend. We got a whole lot of announcements, from teasers to trailers to, you know, more in-depth looks. And I haven't looked at everything, but I'm excited just because like a lot of stuff got announced, and y'all will see we got a lot of announcements, including like probably like the most hype one is the Batman, which is something that we got like our first looks at like maybe a couple weeks ago, maybe before that, I don't know, but I saw Batman for the first time a couple weeks ago, like a like what he's gonna actually look like in his new suit, and then like that main thumbnail image. So that was super dope. We got to see the Flash stuff. There's a new season of the Batwoman coming out, Shazam, the Aquaman 2. I forgot the title, but I think it's like Lost Kingdom or something like that. I don't know. That could be literally like super wrong and be just like, you know, Jurassic Park. I don't know. But we got a first look at that. We got a first look at like, you know, Black Adam. Gotham Knights was just like one of my like most anticipated games. Young Justice, and then also Suicide Squad. They're having a game. Not really too crazy about that. But you know what I'm saying, a whole lot of announcements, and I'll talk a lot more about it throughout the week. But you know what I'm saying, if you haven't heard about that joint, that's what happened over the weekend. I'm super excited just because I feel like DC is really trying their best, honestly, to compete, bro. Like, I feel like they're really putting their best foot forward now. I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's this partnership with HBO Max, you know what I'm saying? Like, where they're able to house all this content. Because there's still stuff I haven't even got to yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still want to see the Batwoman. And there's, different, like, Young Justice is, like, one of my favorite, like, all-time animated, you know what I'm saying, DC shows that, felt like I didn't know if we was going to get another season. You know what I'm saying? But, they always find a way to keep it going. But, that was super dope to see. And, I'm excited just to get all this stuff and finally be able to watch it and talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But next up, let's talk about some Netflix stuff. So, Squid Game. Squid Game is officially, like, the most watched show ever. And I got this off of IGN. But I heard about it from multiple people or multiple sources, I guess. So it's like the most watched show ever on Netflix, which is crazy, bro. I don't know the exact number amount of people that actually watched it, but like I was saying, like, that joint literally blew up, bro. You know what I'm saying? And just imagine, like, a lot of people like watch the show once, but think about all the people that watched it like multiple times, bro. Like, I wonder what that number is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a smooth trip, but it's not like a really long show. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. That show was crazy. And bro, some people watched it in dub, bro. Like, English dub. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I gotta hear the official voices, bro. Like, there's like videos on YouTube of like just like the funniest moments of like the translation. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, that's a wild, bro. I can't. As an anime watcher, I can't watch anything in dub, bro. Like, if it's got a sub, I'm watching it. But that was really a cool thing to see. And then we also, in some Star Wars news, man, we're supposed to be getting an announcement for a new game in December. So hopefully that's the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is like, one of my favorite Star Wars games ever. Probably my number one Star Wars game ever. Honestly, like, Force Unleashed was dope, but nah, this, like, Jedi Fallen Order, I played that game multiple times. I still will play it again today. And it's just a beautiful game, bro. I really like it a lot. And we also have Back for Blood that dropped. I haven't played that, but I've seen it a lot on Twitch. A lot of people are enjoying it. A lot of people enjoy like the little beta or demo, whatever that came out. And it's just like, it's a classic game. You know what I'm saying? It's just, not necessarily remastered, but you know what I'm saying, it's the fourth one. So it's just like, continuation of stuff. So that's dope to see. But that's pretty much it for the news for this week. Let's get into the weekly recap. Alright, so first things first, right? I say this a lot, bro. I noticed that looking back at some of my stuff recently over the last few weeks, but I say first things first a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I say, you know what I'm saying, a lot, but it's okay, because eventually, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be so good at podcasting that the filler words won't be as apparent, but let's get into it, man. The weekly recap. So, Blacklist, bro. Blacklist is freaking golden. I love this season so far. I think I'm on like episode like 10 or something. I think I'm on episode 10. Let me check real quick. I'm on episode 9. And it's a new game, Left 4 Dead clone, not a continuation. What you mean, Chris? Did I say Left 4 Dead? I meant to say Black for Blood. If I said that. Sorry if I confused y'all, but Back for Blood. Wow. I think I did say Left 4 Dead. That's a big cap right there. That's a big cap. Back for Blood. Wow, I'm wilding. But yeah, back to Blacklist. So, Blacklist is goated. You know what I'm saying? I won't necessarily explain like what's actually happening this season, just because I don't want to spoil y'all. But if y'all seen Blacklist, y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been Raymond Reddington versus the government or Elizabeth. You know what I'm saying? But now it's really Elizabeth versus Raymond Reddington, bro. And I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I like it a lot. I like where they're going with this, and it's like really, it's it's really like making things come full circle, right? Because we're getting reintroduced to characters that we haven't seen since like the first season. You know, like past cases, bruh. And I really like the way that they're doing things, especially based on like the way that the last season ended with like the 2D animation cartoon ending for certain scenes. Like that was really annoying. I didn't like that at all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that we got another season to continue not only the story but just end it off on the right note, bruh. Because if they ended it the way they ended the last season, I would have been hurt. I would have hurt because I really like Blacklist. I really like this show a lot. Um, like for me, for a TV show, like what makes them good for me is like, especially like when it's like not necessarily like a crime show, but shows that like every episode has a beginning, middle, and end, and then it's like that end translates to the next episode, which just sounds really simple, but like every day is a new adventure in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And you don't necessarily like know what's gonna happen next. Every episode is a freaking surprise, and I love things like that. Like I like it when like I always say this, but like the gameplay loop, is really good, and they got a really good flow for every episode. You know what I'm saying? So much stuff happens, bro. That it's like when we have callbacks or references, and like we get a cameo that we haven't seen in a really long time and you remember what happened. It's just like, ooh, I forgot that happened, bro. That's freaking fire. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. On a lighter note, as far as anime this week, I didn't really watch that much stuff this week, honestly. There's not a lot of stuff out at the moment, like new per se, but like at least for me, I haven't really been watching a lot of stuff just because bruh, like I said earlier, bro, I was fighting Mike Tyson, like, but it was just like my nose was fighting me. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really like doing a lot of watching. You know what I'm saying? But I watched Boruto a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch back up to that just because like I seen like there was like a fight with Naruto on Twitter, and I was like, ooh, this look kind of tough. So I gotta catch up, but it's very painful, bro. Like not physical pain, but it's just like like this is not what I'm here for. I don't really care nothing about this, but I need to see it to get to where I need to go. Y'all know what I'm talking about, but that's how I feel when I'm watching Boruto right now. So hopefully it gets better. Like I said, I'm like I think I said in another episode, I'm like 150 episodes in. You know what I'm saying? So it shouldn't be anything new. Like I know what I'm getting myself into. But I started watching Boruto, and then Titans, bro. Y'all saw my video earlier. I uploaded it today on how I'm feeling about Titans right now. I'm super excited for the season finale. Even though it's like, bro, that show is so like it has so much potential, but like they just don't know what they're doing. Like they got so much to work with, but I feel like they mashed the wrong stuff up together. You know what I'm saying? Because some of this stuff is canon, right? But then some of it's like up for your own interpretation of like, or it's reimagined in a certain way. And it's just like, bro, this don't hit right. This is not it. This is not it. Like, and the way that they're handling like these legacy characters, bro, like especially Nightwing, it's just like, bro, come on. And I like the direction that DC is going with, like not only just their shows but their movies and stuff. Is like more on a darker, I know darker is the only real word that I can use to describe like the content, because like especially like Batman, bro. like the Batman universe or like the Gotham itself, like it goes down, you know, and having these like cookie cutter characters and scenes like where like like it's not ruthless like it needs to be. It's just like, dang, what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying? I still think to this day, Gotham is probably like one of my favorite. Like it's probably like it's not even just that it's my favorite. It's probably like the best DC show out, and that joint don't even got like a real like superhero in it, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like there's villains for sure, and there's cops and all this stuff, and there's violence and everything, but it's not like the Flash running around, or it's not Green Arrow doing this thing. It's not no Supergirl type of thing. It's just really good. It's a really good show, bro. Because they have so much to work with, and maybe because they can like work a little bit more like and have more leeway with some of these characters, but I just don't like how they handling Nightwing. I like what they did with Red Hood, Jason Todd, but they doing Dick Grayson dirty, and I don't know. We're just gonna have to see how that story is, but I'm excited for the episode. I like that they brought Nightwing back. Obviously, we knew he couldn't die. I don't think he had to die per se. You know what I'm saying? Because like when Dick Grayson dies, right? And then I'm talking about just in like in general. That's what leads everything in like that's one of the most pivotal moments in Injustice, right? Or Injustice 2, whichever one it is. But when Dick Grayson ends up dying, that's like one of the pivotal points to like people picking sides in the I don't even want to say war, but what I'm saying, picking between Batman and Superman, like basically, and Titans had a weird Lazarus pit scene. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lazarus pit itself, it's been used in the show before. Like that's what they used to bring back Jason Todd. But with Dick Grayson, they decided to show us flashbacks of people we never seen before. That's supposed to make you feel a certain type of way, but it just doesn't land, bro. I think the most impactful scene of the most recent episode was when they had Dick Grayson dressed up as the Joker. And the Joker was the one who ended up killing Jason Todd, right? But in other, I don't want to say worlds or whatever, but I believe, I could be wrong, I believe Dick Grayson ends up turning into the Joker, but that could also have been Jason, but I think it was Dick. I don't know, but in one of the shows, and some of the games like Arkham Knight, like that was one of the like tropes or whatever. Like, the Joker ended up turning one of the Robins into himself, and then the Joker dies or whatever. But like, I like that as like an Easter egg. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's cool. Like, I think this show is really good with Easter eggs, but I think that their execution in the plot is just lacking, bro. I don't know what they could do better other than what I've already said. But, I mean, I still enjoy the show just for what it is, but it just be frustrating sometimes. What's going on, team? I know you guys are enjoying the video right now, but I want to let you guys know that not only are we making videos like this every day, Monday through Friday here on YouTube, but we're streaming on Twitch. We're having these conversations. I want to see you guys in the chat so we can talk about all this stuff live, man. We got a dope community over there, and I would love you guys to join. So check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Ginato Sensei. Link is in the description. Yeah, and I'll see y'all in the chat. Back to the video. The last thing I got on here for my weekly recap, bro, is podcasts. So I recently, over the last week, I haven't really watched a lot of stuff, but I've listened to a lot of podcasts. And I've actually been enrolled in a podcast challenge or whatever. But I've really been enjoying the, no pun intended, the Enjoy podcast. And then also just like really kind of diving into that world of like content with their whole crew, whether it's JD or Jared or Shan or whoever, you know what I'm saying? And Los, like their whole crew, like they all have their separate things that they do outside of just that podcast itself. But I've really been like, I don't want to say immersing myself in their content, but I just been watching a lot of it just because like it's just like it's something that had been seen, but I don't know. It's usually it's weird like that, like how they like implant stuff into your like into your feed, so you start seeing stuff more, and then you end up clicking on it. It was like one of those things, you know what I'm saying? And I really enjoy their perspective, and I enjoy their podcast, just because like I think that they talk about like really like impactful stuff, when it just comes to like not just men, but also just people in general. Like the conversations they're having, I feel like they're important, and I feel like they are, you know, like servicing their audience with those conversations, and it's something that I aspire to do here. You know what I'm saying? Like with this podcast, I think that in the future, like with not only just like more and more guests, I just want to have a platform where we can be like our truest self. Like we can just talk about the things that you might not be able to talk to all of your friends about without not necessarily getting judged or getting laughed out the room, but you know what I'm saying, you can just geek out real quick, you know what I'm saying, and talk about your favorite game or your favorite anime coming out or your favorite TV show. Like like that's what I want to be able to apply a platform for, you know what I'm saying. And through this challenge that I did, this podcast challenge to the Social Proof Podcast, which is also like it's like an entrepreneurship podcast that I've been watching for probably like a year now, where the main David Shane's like the main guy over there released like a challenge, you know what I'm saying. And it was like, he basically taught you how to launch your podcast. And I know that I literally already launched my podcast, right? Like it's out, like y'all listen to it right now. But I know it's like some information that I just wasn't doing, like that I just didn't know. Like you don't know the things you don't know, you know what I'm saying. So I got involved with that over the last week, so I've been doing my homework with that, getting everything set up. And there was definitely things that I didn't necessarily know, and more so like getting acquainted with, like I think one of the biggest takeaways was like just getting acquainted with like who's in my space. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean like my literal space, like my room, but like in the podcast space, in my category, and it really helped me get a not necessarily like a reality check, but like really like broaden my horizons to like where I'm really at, with this content stuff. Because a lot of times like I can get caught up in the art of it. I can get caught up in like the executions part of it, and if you don't take a step outside of that per se, and look at like what you actually been doing, like I think a lot of times like life will slow you down a little bit, and I think that's what happened over the last week with my like just happened, like I was saying, like fighting up against my allergies. Like it had to sit me down for a little bit, so I was able to like really take a look at like where I'm at. And that goes back to like the title of this episode, humble but hungry. Like when I look at the 170 followers I got on saying Twitch, or the 300 something subscribers I have on YouTube, and looking at like how many listeners I have on the podcast, like on a regular basis, it really was like, okay, like the way I had to reframe my mind, because like the way I look at the stuff I make and the way I create is for somebody that's like way bigger than what I am right now. Like there's people that have like way bigger platforms that aren't doing like half the stuff that I do. And that's not necessarily like a knock on them per se, or a knock onto myself, but I realized like I need to like really focus, not necessarily like, because I know how to distribute my content. I know how to make the memes and do the reels and make the TikToks, in a sense. Like, maybe not necessarily like to the certain levels of like that the other people do it, just because like like if I see it like one time, or I watch a video on it, I can pick it up like easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like a technical standpoint of creating that actual product. But it's like I need to focus on like one thing or like a couple things, and really hone in on that. And for me, I think that's still YouTube. I still think that's building up this podcast. I feel like I'm trying to do a lot of things at once, and instead of like, I don't want to say like letting stuff happen naturally, but instead of trying to do a lot, like focus on one thing, like I realized like I had the fear of like, dang, what if I put all my eggs in this one basket and it don't work? Like, so like I'm gonna put my eggs in multiple baskets, and one of these joints gonna pop eventually. And I still like have that, mindset when it comes to that, but at the same time, like I gotta have some clear goals on like what I'm trying to accomplish. So like, over the week, it's like you gotta pick and choose. Like, what are you gonna work on? You know what I'm saying? Like this week or this day. And I'm really trying to figure that out for myself on like, all right, what's like vitally important to the content that I produce, and what is gonna make what I do better for like just like the long haul in general. And one thing that I can attribute to that is a schedule, like having a good time, like that I stream every single day. Like, I don't want to be late anymore. Like that's where I'm at with. I don't want to miss no podcast days. Like I want to upload as frequently as possible, like for like my regular content that I produce. And I wanted to be like, and I already get this from people, like Chris specifically, has told me like, yeah, it seems like you uploading like literally like every day. Like every time I look on something, you got something up. Like that's how I want it to be. But a lot of times with that stuff, it was more so me putting out to put it out rather than like putting it out because it's good. Like I only want to put out good, like not even good stuff. I want to put out great stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to put out impactful stuff, and like that's what watching and listening to these other podcasts made me feel, because I'm like, yo, like they really over here spitting, bro. And I want to feel like that after every episode of my podcast, or every time I put out a clip or a TikTok or whatever. Like I want to feel like, yo, like yeah, like they're gonna really like this like a lot. Like this is gonna do something, rather than me just putting it out for the sake of like, okay, I need to put something out today. You know what I'm saying? So however that translates to when I start streaming again, or like what's the stream gonna be like, we're gonna have to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? Because the only thing I know for sure is that I'm gonna be doing this podcast. That's the only like Mondays is for sure, like I'm gonna stream, because I want to have this out, and then I want to be able to put it out on Wednesday. Like that's set in stone. But Wednesday or Friday, because I feel like I'm constantly going back and forth with stream schedules. Like I feel like I'm constantly doing that. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want it to be a simple thing. Whether that means like I'm only streaming like a certain amount of time, or a certain amount of days throughout the week, and it just be a long stream, and we get through everything. Like maybe that's it, or maybe you know, we do something else. I'm gonna have to figure it out. But like everything that I do now, like I'm trying to do like with a lot more intention and like really honing my craft and like becoming like a YouTuber. You know, like from this like I was saying before, like from the style of you know, from the style, and I don't even know if I introduced the filler arc. If I didn't, I just got lost in it. But from the style of thumbnails that I've made, you know, like from like an artistic standpoint, from a design standpoint, to me, like my brain doesn't directly connect with it, but once I, you know, look at it from like a YouTuber standpoint, I'm like, okay, what works on YouTube? The design challenge changed. So now I feel like making better stuff, even though it's not as complex or not as like, I don't want to say pleasing to the eye, because I don't want it to, like, I want it to catch your attention. That's the whole point of a thumbnail, is to catch your attention. You know, people's attention spans is really short. So, you know, if you get something that all like looks like it goes together and blends together, you know what I'm saying, it might not stick out. And then that's the whole point. So hopefully this like works, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure like I'll continue to develop, like, you know, how I make these thumbnails as I go in this, you know, YouTuber style in a sense. But, you know, like from that to getting more reels out and more TikToks out on not only just the podcast but on regular content, and making that joint fire, like that's my whole like that. It's like, bro, like I got humbled in the sense of like understanding like where I'm at, you know, like because I was in the trenches. I was like, you know, not necessarily talking to the void, but I was just like in it, you know. And then my nose hit me with a couple haymakers and a 3-piece, and had me sit down and really realize, like, okay, like where, like look at the overall landscape of where you at. You know what I'm saying? Got some new perspective, got some new learning, and now it's like, okay, now like yeah, I got humbled, but now I'm hungry to get back at it. You know what I'm saying? So like that's pretty much where I'm at with it. You know, hopefully y'all start seeing like the results of this new perspective, and I think that's like part of like what this whole podcast is about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm excited, bro. Like I'm excited for the stuff I'm about to make. I'm excited for the stuff I've already made that I finally get to put out, and you know, continue to just do what we do, bro. So I appreciate y'all for listening. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, hit that follow button on Twitch, hit that what else rate the podcast, do all that good stuff, and I'm gonna holler at y'all in the next one, man. Y'all be easy, y'all know the vibes. Always keep growing, always keep going. It's been your boy G. I'm gone. Peace. Dang, I know they like that video, bro. That's crazy. I can't wait to see the comment. Whoa, what are you still doing here? Well, since you're here, you might as well hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because if you didn't, what are we really here for? If you're still here at this point, you probably still want to know and talk more about it. So come through on the Twitch stream, man. Twitch.tv/Ginato Sensei. I want to see you in the chat. Let me know you came from YouTube, and we could talk about today's video, discuss anime, movies, films. Y'all already know what it is, bro. Wait, that's still not it? Oh, I know what it is. You was wondering about this drip right here. Well, you can check that out on IG, Growth Apparel. That's Growth Apparel, GRWTH. It's on the screen right now. So go copy you a tee, man. I'm gonna see y'all in chat. I'm gonna see y'all in these comments. I appreciate y'all once again. Y'all already know I rocks with you, bro. I'm out of here. You still here? Ah, y'all gang.